This is a bit of a different video, but sit back, relax, and you'll really enjoy it. For some of you new viewers out there, hello, hi there. My name is Kashin, also known as K-Dog, owner of Retromania, and also Retromania Toronto YouTube. Anyways, let's roll right into it. So, what is it like to run a business? It's not what you think. It's not all fun and games like they show you. There are many things behind the scenes that go on that make it work. And the number one biggest mistake, this is the number one mistake that people take with business, and that is money. Yes, I know you need to have money to start a business or to do the business, but that is not the number one thing. Before you even get into business, into wanting to do a business, whether it's retail, whether it's support, community, politics, whatever it could be, commerce, you name it, whatever, the number one thing is telling yourself this: I will start it. It's not about I want to do it. Do I have the money or not? It's, do I want to do this? Yes, I want to do this. It's the when and the how are you going to do it. Because you can get into anything without money and grow it. Now, that might be a bit counterintuitive. Now, why I say you can get into it without the money. Because the first thing that comes in, and I said it, this is before starting anything. This is what you have to tell yourself. Do you want to do it? When are you going to do it? And how are you going to do it? And are you telling yourself you want to do it? I will do it. Not just play with the idea of I want a business, right? Then once you get into it, you're still thinking, is the money important? This is still not as important as number 2, which is the first thing you need to know when starting a business and when getting into businesses: making relationships. And when I say making relationships, I mean with your clientele that you're going to be catering to, the suppliers that you're going to be getting your stuff from. And if you're doing a type of business that doesn't have suppliers but have people that bring you things, making connections with them and making connections with other dealers in your field. Now, in my case, I do video games, I do toys, more so wrestling toys, anime, and some cards like, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, some. So what would be my connections? It would be making relationships and connections with the people that want to sell to me, right? The stores that are around. And when I say stores and dealers, I'm not talking about like the big guy over there who goes, nope. We're talking about your local store where you become friends. Become friends with them because, you can work deals with them, Become friends with the people or get to know the people that bring you your product. Get to know your suppliers that are bringing you the product, so that way they know you're number one on their list. So no matter what, when your customer wants to come to you, if they're asking you for a product, you don't just tell them, nope, don't have it, can't get it, sorry. You immediately tell them, no, I don't have it, but give me a few days to a week and I can get it for you. Now, if you have that product in stock, that's a whole different thing. You just go, all right, here's the stuff. But this is why you need these relationships, because without them, you're never going to grow. You can have $1 million in your pocket. You can have $1 in your pocket, but it doesn't matter if you don't have the relationships, because that is the number one key thing. And then having relationships with your customers are also very important, because then they constantly want to come back to buy from you. They're going to now tell their friends, their family, or somebody within that community that, hey, there is a guy who runs this shop this business and they're very good at what they do and they have what you're looking for. And sometimes they're willing to pay that little extra for the customer service, for the fact that you gave them a satisfaction, a smile on their face. You built a relationship with them. Sometimes they're willing to, because they know in their head, hey, I think I saw this at another place for less, but I don't like that place, versus this place is good. And also you have to also understand, with building relationship with the customer, you also have to be fair with them as well. You can't take advantage of them, because eventually they're going to just go, you know what, I'm out. And then even if you build relationships and you build connections with their suppliers and the people that sell to you and stores and other dealers within your community, your customers are gone. So you also have to keep that in mind, is be fair as well to your customers. Now, knowing all of this, how much money do you actually need to start in a business? Typically, they will tell you you need a lot of money. I'm going to sit back and tell you, you can start a business with as little as $1. And I'll tell you why. Because I myself did it. I started with nothing, and I built this, and now I have all this. I have the stocks, I have turnovers, I have sales, I have constant messages. I have a Buylist now, which you guys can check. Links will be in the description below for the Buylist, where I have people consistently hitting me up for the Buylist. Whether it's I take it or not, it all depends on condition and stuff. I have dealers within the same community which I work with constantly. When I need something, I'll message them up right away. It's in my hand. So I started with nothing. Now, how long did it take? There's the one thing you need to know, is how long will it take? This isn't a sprint. Having a business is like a marathon. You need to spend the time to build over the years. The first couple of years, you're not going to make anything. I promise you that. If you make something, you're not making nearly as much as you thought. You might be making the most minuscule pennies on the dollars. Why? Because you're in the building phase, because you don't have that kind of money to sit there and say, I can hold this. You have to put everything right back and then some, right? So you're slowly growing your equity, you're growing your stock at the same time, building relationships. See where relationships connect to this? That's why they're very, very important. Now, if you have a ton of money to start with, you can go bigger in a shorter span. But this part here is more for the people who have nothing, who don't know what they want to do, and they have maybe a couple grand, maybe $20, $50, a few $100 to start with. Don't worry about it. Just do it. Like I said, my personal story, I did it. I started. Now, the best thing to do at the very beginning when building relationships, learn from the people who came before you. Like, if you want to get into, say, in my case with video games, you can learn from someone like me, because I've done it. I'm in the field. I know what I'm doing. So you learn from the things I do. Your local game store, if you're friends with the owner, you can learn from them and ask questions. And it's never ever a bad thing to ask the question, what really goes on behind the scenes? What are the day-to-day operations? What do you expect to make by the end of the week, by the end of the day, by the end of the month? What percentage are you taking home versus putting back into the business? You can ask these questions. What kind of work does it take for, say, your business, which is video games, versus, say, the guy next door to you who's doing clothing, or the guy online selling strictly graded sports cards, or the car dealer 2 blocks away? What are the differences? You can ask all these questions. And don't just go through one play. Go through 1, 2, 3, 4. When you go to conventions, go there not because it's a convention and you want to buy. Go there to study, see what's going on, learn the things that are going on. Take these notes, and then once you have all of these notes, then you can tell yourself, okay, I am ready to go. I am ready to start now because I have the information. I've done my research. I know exactly what is what, and I know where I want to start, and I know where my middle goal is, because you don't want to have an end goal yet. You want to have a middle goal, because most people make this big mistake of having a end goal and they never reach that end goal in time, and then they get discouraged. Have a middle goal, meaning like a short-term goal that you know within this time you want to be here or here. Never say I want to be exactly here. Always say I want to be either here or here. And once you reach within that bracket, then set yourself another goal, and never ever say there's an end goal. Don't tell yourself, oh, the end goal is I'm going to have a full-on 3-story store. I'm going to have a first floor, second floor, third floor. It's going to be the first floor is going to be like 50,000 square feet. I'm going to have 4 locations. No, because 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years go by and you're going to be discouraged as to why didn't this happen, but instead this happened. It's a good thing you went where you went, but mentally you're going to discourage yourself. So you're best to dial it down to small interval goals, middle goals. Set yourself short term. In 1 year, where will I be? In 6 months, where will I be? In month to month, what do I want to achieve? Month to month, starting up until the first year. Those are the small goals you want to do. And then every time you have to reconfigure and tweak it as you go based on your lifestyle, where you're currently at with your business, the market itself, and because we're going to talk video games and things like what I do, trends. Now, we'll get to trends very soon. Now, let me tell you a little backstory with me, like how I got all this started. The one thing I will say is passion. Passion is what got me into it. You have to have a passion in something which will want to get you to go further in that thing. And it's never, ever get into a business thinking money, because you'll never make it. Unless you're a multi-millionaire because you were handed down money, that's a different story, because now you can invest in money. But if you're starting from nothing or very little, you get into something where there's passion involved. I have a huge passion for video games. So that's where I started my business, because of the passion and love for video games. I've been collecting for eons, way before it was cool, way before it was a thing, right? So as I got older, I decided, you know what, I'm going to do a business. I tweaked my business around, like from having comic books with the video games to, having the wrestling stuff, cards, this and that. Then I finally found it where I should sit and lie on. Video games, because I have a true love and passion for video games. Wrestling, because I love wrestling. It's one of my biggest passions. Anime, because it's another passion of mine. And some cards like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, because it's also a passion. So I learned this is where I need to be in my direction, where video games are number 1. Wrestling is number 2. Anime is number 3. Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards are a little here or there because it kind of fits in the theme. So I started with nothing. I'm going to say that. I started with nothing. Maybe a few $100. Is that something? No, that's nothing. But I eventually managed to make it grow to now when I look at my stocks, I have 6 figures worth of stock across the different things, right? I'm able to now look at myself and go, okay, I could do this, I could do that. I don't have to worry about what if this, what if that. If I want to plan something, I can plan it and then start working towards that plan without any problems. Now, sometimes will the plans take longer than expected? It happens, and that's to be expected. But I went from having nothing in there to borrowing money because I was like, oh, if I miss this collection or if I don't buy these stack of games, I'm giving up a great deal, to now I don't even need to do that. And now this isn't for the people who have the money, who could just go right in, go, here's 100 grand, here's 50,000, here's 40, 50. No, this is for the people who don't have the money or not sure if they should invest all of it, but can start with a few hundred or a couple thousand. This is where I came. And it doesn't hurt you if you start in the most jankiest of place, because that's where I started. I started in one of the, I will say this, one of the worst flea markets, reputation-wise. And I built myself in that place. To now, I don't have a location. I'm online. But I also meet people where I sell on different platforms, where I have my eBay now, which is growing a lot. I have my Instagram, which I have people message me from time to time. I have Facebook, where people message. I have stuff on for my non-Canadian viewers. Kijiji is like a buy and sell place. I have my stuff there where a lot of people do. You know, I do conventions consistently. This year I haven't done a lot of conventions because this year was a little bit different. This year I am sitting back, looking at my business and going, I want to reconfigure and do a little bit of change with it. So with change comes some things you have to sacrifice for a time being to figure out where do you want to change and how do you want that change. That's one thing you have to learn. And these are the things you do behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see it. They just see, look, stuff. Look, take a look. He's got a bunch of, like, for instance, I also started bringing movies because I collect movies myself. VHSs are really popular. I get them a lot. So I thought, let me throw it. That's one of the changes. Like, for instance, an example, like a sealed Matrix Revolution. Oh my God, where do you get that? They see it and they go, oh my God, such a great place. But they don't see the hard work that goes behind it. You know, like right here next to me is a stack of maybe small stack of over $1,000+ worth of movies. Literally. And it's a small stack of maybe like not even 30 movies here, right? They look at that and then they go, oh my God, this guy's got all this and that, and he could do this. How do you get that? Every time I post something rare that I get, some of the people question, oh my God, this is so great. But they don't see the work that goes behind it, building these hard work, building relationships so that you can get these things. And also, the other big thing there is behind the scenes you have to do is a lot of the work going through the stuff, organizing, making sure things are clean, make sure, everything is top notch. Because the big thing is you don't want to start selling things that are damaged, or in video games, you don't want to sell discs that are scratched or a cart that's dirty, because then they're going to look at you like you don't care. If you don't care, why should I care? So you have to put in that effort, which a lot of people don't see. You go through your stock consistently to go, okay, now this console's not popular anymore. I should start looking at the prices. And now you're spending an hour, 2 hours pricing some of the stuff, going through and be like, okay, now I got to change all of these. Oh, all of a sudden, the Wii is popular. Throwing an example. The Wii is popular right now, but I'm throwing an example out here right now. Like, then you go through all your stuff. Am I way too underpriced where I'm going to sell out and I'm not going to be able to restock? So then what you do is you don't go and say, oh, because I had these already put out and my customers know it. You just put it up a little bit so that way you don't run out, because you have to also know, like, let's just say for argumental sake, you have a $10 game. Now all of a sudden, It's a $40 game. You know you have 50 of those. They're going to sell out immediately. No questions asked. Now you're gone. You're out. Now, good luck trying to get it, because the reason it went to 40, because it got really popular. So you have to also know, okay, I don't want to go to $40 because I don't have to, but I could do 25. I could do 30. Now it won't sell out so quickly where you're out. It'll still sell, and you will have that return where you know, hey, I can afford to buy and restock this again because I have the funds from it to do so, versus previously I don't have the funds for it, because now if I do, I'm kind of putting out from my pocket. So you see where you have to also know trends, and you also have to know when it's time to let go of things. Like, for instance, a great example, NES. At one point I gave them up. I have a very finite amount of them. Why? Because at one point they were useless. Nobody wanted them. Even the expensive games nobody cared about. But so I slowed it down and I looked at that. At the time I go, oh, GameCube is getting hot. Oh, PS2, N64, PS1. That generation is getting popular now. Okay. So what did I do? I shifted the focus over, which is what you should do. And this is for any business. You shift your focus, but not getting rid of them, just shifting the focus to more on those. And then like recently in the past year, NES started getting popular again. So now it's not as popular as, say, the Wii right now, or the Xbox 360 or GameCube or DS, 3DS, but it's back up to a noticeable eye level collectability. So now I as a dealer go, okay, I gotta stock up just a little bit more NES games than I have right now. Make it a not so much a no more priority, but more so a third level priority, maybe a second level priority, you know? So it's things like that. Now, let's move on to what you should do when you're starting. Like, should you immediately open up a store, or should you build yourself? Like, put yourself out there. Build a platform for yourself. That's where I say build a platform first. First and foremost, most important thing, if you don't have a platform, how are people going to know who you are? I have eBay. I have Marketplace. I have Kijiji. I have YouTube. I have Instagram. I have Facebook. All of these are different platforms I use to not only put my stuff out, but to promote me, myself, and promote my business name, Retromania. That's the one big thing. And with eBay, it's not easy right now. Because with eBay, there's a lot of competition on eBay, like across the board. So you have to really put yourself out there, make sure the platforms are there. And I'm going to say this is for people who want to go on to places like eBay and stuff like that. It's going to be very difficult at first, but you have to have consistency and key. Make sure they see your consistent push, post, coming and going and coming and going. So always when they're there, they say, oh, I'm always seeing Retromania. Why is my feed always Retromania? Why is my feed always Retromania? Then they go, there's got to be something with Retromania why I'm always seeing a Retromania feed, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on the YouTube, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's an eBay thing that popped up and said, hey, Retromania just listed this, you know, so you got to make sure people see that. Whether you're first or you're in the top 10, 20 from when they first open it up, that's important and very, very key. And I would recommend, 100%, I would recommend, if you are comfortable being behind the camera, start a YouTube channel. Now, don't start the YouTube saying, I am a business that's going to do this for my business. No. Start the channel as building your personality as a person. Forget your business for the first year. Forget that you have a business. Tell people who you are, your personality. Why are you talking about these things? Why does it make you happy? And why should they listen to you and watch you? And as you grow and they learn about you, then sprinkle in, by the way, I am a business. I have these things. I sell these here or there. Check it out. Check me out. Come to my store. Come to my whatnot. Come to my YouTube lives, Twitch, wherever you are. But start with your personality, because people don't watch because, oh, it's another video game store. It's another toy store. It's another car dealer. No, they don't care about that. They don't give a crap about it. What they want is the personality. Are you the type of person that they can relate to and connect to and be like, yes, this is my kind of person. From top to bottom, I relate to them. I love their story. I love who they are. Then they go, because I love that, I want to know more about them. Oh, they're a business owner. Great. I would love to support you because I enjoy you as a human being, as a person. I love everything you talk about. Why do you think there are big names? And we're not talking corporate. We're talking big, small businesses that blow up. Like, for instance, a good example, we're going to shift it here. 2J's, or from Urban Necessities. Why is he the most renowned, well-respected person in the sneaker resale industry? Because of the personality he was. If you watch his early videos, what does he talk about in his early videos? He doesn't talk about his business. He talks about who he is, why he got into it, how he started it, why he started it, what made him fall in love with sneakers. And then he also brings up his family. He brings up where he's from. You could see the first year, that's it. And then what happened? He became the king of sneaker resale because the people love his personality. You see where the 2 and 2 go together? Like another perfect example in the video game world. Take a look at as to why Pixel Game Squad, or why Retro Rick, or I can list you a few others, Game Chasers. Why all of them? Well, Game Chasers don't really sell, but you get my point. Why? Because they put themselves out there to explain who they are. And if you're not with YouTube and you're going to do Instagram, put yourself out there, your personality. Don't do your business at all. And I know this is sounding very counterintuitive, like, why should I not be bringing up my business? This is why I'm doing these things. Because, again, like I said, nobody cares about your business. They only care about you as a person. They care that, hey, I'm into video games. Hey, I'm into toys. Hey, I'm into cards. I'm into shoes. I'm into backpacks, But do they care about your business? No. They don't care about your business at all. Never have, never will. 30 years later, if they're still with you, they don't care about your business. They care about you and want to support you as a person because you're doing a business in a field of their interest, okay? And because of that field of interest that they're doing, they're now looking at you and saying, you're a great person, your personality, your story, it relates with me. So I'd rather support you than Joe over there. I'd rather support you than Chris over there, or Jim, or you know what I mean? They would love to support you because of your personality. Remember that. That's a very, very key point. First and foremost, they have to get to know you. Give a year. If it's 2 years, 2 years. But more than 2 years, at that point, I'm going to be like, something's wrong with you. Not your business. You. Figure out what's wrong with you. Why it took more than 2 years to put your personality and get people to follow you as a person and your story. But if you could do it within a year or two, then should you go in and go, here's my business. Now, forget about me opening up to you. Now I'm going to open up to you with my business. So my business is now opening up with me, and they will care about you, and they will support your business, right? Now, let's just dial it back a little bit with connections again, because you need to build those relationships and connections 100%. Because even if you put yourself out there and you have the personality and people care and they go, oh, I want to support you. Where's your connections? Where's your relationship? Those need to be built in the process. And when I say in the process, I mean while putting yourself out there, you have these relationships being built. So once you have 10 people, 20 people, 30 people, 100 people, 1,000 people that are shopping with you, that are conversing with you, that are talking to you, that want to sell to you, that want to know more about you, you have these places where you go, I'm here, I'm all ears, I have no issues, I know where I'm getting my stuff, I know if I don't have, I know where to go to talk, I know these suppliers, I can easily bing, 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 I can give you an answer today, tomorrow, a week, okay? Now, another big thing you have to keep in mind is don't be like everyone else. What does that mean, don't be like everyone else? The generic model of your field will be the ultimate failure. Now, why do I say the ultimate failure? Because I just told you right now, make yourself presentable, your personality, put your story out there, make people connect with you and your story and what you go through, right? So if I said all of that, so then you're thinking to yourself, why? So then how come if I'm just generic, how come that's the biggest mistake? How come I won't go anywhere? But I just did all of these things. Because you don't stand out to the others. That's another big one. Because if you don't stand out, you're not inviting them to come to want to listen to you. You see where I'm getting at? You have to stand out and be different. Because they'll be like, why should I care about you when you're like the next 20 people in the same convention hall or the same 5 stores I've been to within my city? Standing out in a crowd is very important. Like for me, I'll give a perfect example with me. Most video game dealers don't deal with Japanese imports because why? It's very hard to deal with it. Very, very extremely hard to deal with it. You have to know the ins and outs and know what you're doing. I specialize in Japanese import games. I specialize in anime game stuff, right? So I stand out and people know it. And it's gone to a point with me where now when I go to conventions, people ask me, oh, what are some of the Japanese stuff you have? Oh, do you buy Japanese games? Oh, I have anime figures. I have anime Blu-rays, DVDs, stand out from the crowd. Wrestling is another thing. But the wrestling isn't a big standout. It's only a standout for game dealers. But for toy boys, it's not so much a standout. It's more so they look at me and they go, okay, I know you love wrestling, so I get it. But the Japanese side of it is a whole nother thing which stood me out from the crowd, which now when people talk, they go, hey, top 5 Japanese game dealers in Toronto. Not stores, just dealer, because stores are completely different. We're talking dealers within conventions, within the online, whatever, dealer. Just the generic dealer term. I'm in that conversation. I am. Because I built those connections, relationships where I know where to get these things from, how to get these things, and when to bring them in. And I myself bring them directly from Japan. There are people that do sell to me as well. There are people here that have them and they go, I made a mistake buying them, and they immediately hit me up and go, hey, you want to take them off my hand? I take a look. If it's stuff I know it's worth it, I buy it. Same thing goes with cards. When I go to my locals, people talk about me when it comes to OCG sleeves. Why? Because I bring specifically OCG, for some of you don't know, a Japanese Japan for their card game. So I bring their sleeves, which are much higher quality. So people are always asking me, hey, do you have any of these sleeves? Do you have those sleeves? What about this sleeve or that? Because I built that where people know me as this and I stand out from the crowd. And that's the same thing that you need to do. You need to stand out and know, okay, let's say, I'll give you a perfect example. You want to be in the video game world because we're talking video games here because that's what I do, right? Stand out from the crowd. Like you want to be the person that specializes in homebrew. Go for it. Be the homebrew dealer. That means everybody will know you as the homebrew guy. Meaning when you go to a convention and set up, when you post something on your Instagram, your Facebook, your YouTube, they know, oh, the homebrew guy from Toronto, the homebrew guy from Montreal, or, the homebrew guy from California. They know you as that. And they remember you, right? Or if you want to be the one that specializes only in computer stuff, computer games, PC games, Mac games, you name it. They go, oh, that's the computer dealer guy. Holy crap, computer guy. Yes, I'm going to go to computer guy. See how you specialize there? Now, you obviously have to have the general things that move by trends and follow the trend. But you have that specialized market selection so that you differentiate yourself from your competition so that they come to you rather than their neighbor. Now, obviously, the guy next to you, he's going to have his people because he specialized in something you didn't specialize in, but you both stood out, right? So just remember all of that. And then to close things off here, we're going to talk eBay. And with eBay, here's one thing I will say with eBay. Consistency. That's one of the platforms I sell on, eBay. And you got to have major consistency on there. You have to consistently post, consistently make sure you sell, and you're consistently checking your product. Constantly looking at the numbers of views, looking at your prices, consistently checking, going on there and checking, hey, what if this thing's been on here for 6 months? It's a very popular title, not a generic middle of the road filler, but a popular title. So why is this not moving? Start looking on eBay. Say, oh, there's 12 listings that are $10 cheaper than mine, $20 cheaper than mine. Oh, this item here now all of a sudden is $50 and it used to be $100. Oh, change your price. Now another tip I'm going to give you with eBay. Don't price your stuff as you see it. Be willing to wait a little bit longer so that way you can make the most out of your buck. And why is that? It's a tip I'm going to give you here. And this is where it comes to building your personality as a person, and people are willing to support you as a person to cover your fees. Because, if you want to start on eBay and you're afraid to say, oh, I'm afraid to go on eBay because they eat a lot of my fees, put $5 more on your items just to cover your fees. And then your shipping, don't do exact shipping because eBay takes away from it. And then there are certain locations with Canada. I don't know US, but I know Canada. It's going to cost you more than your general letter mail cost or your general tract cost. So do a little bit more. So that way you're not losing and you're not complaining, oh, the fees. But at the same time, you have to have the people follow you and your story and your personality. I want to support you. Because if you don't, you're going to put those things out there and people are going to look at you like, why are you so expensive? Why are you overpriced? And then you have a negative look on you. I sell on eBay and I sell consistently very well. And I sell stuff and I put stuff $5 more. Some items I'll put $10 more if they're a little more expensive just to cover it. And they sell, they move. And the people that do buy know and trust me as a person because they believe in what I provide them and believe in me as a person. And that's what you have to do. It goes the same way with a store. If you want to run a storefront, you do the same thing. You have to tell them, why are you paying the $5 more to cover? Because I want to support you. That's what you want them to say. If you're going to sell on Whatnot, you have to build that personality so you don't have 2-3 people in there and you'll lose money. You want to be able to have 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 people in your Whatnot streams. I don't do Whatnot because I'm not there yet to be able to do it, but I'm hoping in the near future I can have that kind of following where I can go on Whatnot, because I'm right now, if I go on Whatnot, I guarantee you there's going to be 5 people at most from Toronto, from the Toronto GTA area. They're going to hop on. They're going to steal the item from me. Why? Because I don't have that many people, if you know. So with that is that you got to make sure you have the following and know you can get that many people. So this is a great tips and everything, and to know what I do and things to look out for businesses. I know it was a different video and a little bit longer video, but hope you guys enjoy it. Anyways, remember, links will be in the description below for everything, for Buylist, from my eBay, my the Instagram, everything will be in the description below. And hey, if you guys have any more questions and you guys want more videos, please comment. Let me know in the comments if you want more videos like this, more questions. I will gladly tell you guys. Anyways, remember, as always, enjoy life, keep on collecting, and we'll see y'all for another video.